allowed to come back. And the recent Goldstone report on the Operation Cast-Lead mentioned about atrocities of the Israeli IDF, Israel Defense Forces, also was rejected. So how can we help? But now, inshallah lah, the American superpower, maybe the power is getting less and less. There is new breed of superpowers coming now. Economic superpowers. They call it BRIC. Brazil, India, China. See? Russia. So you see, masa Mavi Marmara incidents, the Ireland and the Venezuelan call back their diplomats. So kalau dulu they don't dare to do that from me. But now there are upcoming portions of the world that will stand up and say. And now US is actually in debt, a lot of debt with China. So if they cannot pay their debts, some of their land will be taken by China. Jangan main-main. Because they are in economic recession. So we hope something happen, inshallah. That's why I say the civil society may have a bigger role in changing public opinions and so on and so forth. Allahu A'lam. Anything else?
Assalamualaikum, Doctor. I have a couple of questions actually. The first one is, how does Aqsa Syarif or Muslim Malaysia ensure that you give the charity that is collected to the right people and not just some useless whatever. Sorry. And the next question is quite personal, but I'm just curious, like, how do you find the courage, the strength, the time to do all this, being a doctor, busy with and all. So how do you find it to do all the charity works?
Okay. First of all, Muslim Malaysia, we went into Gaza. So we met the people. Like the hospital, we met the doctors, and he said, well, my hospital need this. Like the Wafa or rehabilitation hospital, we went and we met. So we have appointed our workers inside. So to ensure that this money goes to the correct people. So, and the same is Aqsa Syarif. We met the people that we trust to work with, and sometimes the money is handed hand to hand, so without any third party. Sometimes we go to them, sometimes they come. If they don't, we kitty. So those are the mechanisms so far, alhamdulillah. The next question, how do I find, this is a very common question, they always ask. Number one, first of all, I thank to my husband, who has actually been with me all along, supporting me, and also the children while I'm away. To tell you, we have been married, actually, I was married on my birthday, 20th birthday. About to go into first year medical student. And we were married in Australia. So I suppose because of the long togetherness and partnership, we have the same vision and mission of life. And this is something that I have to do because we were given some specialty. Not everybody can go. So he has to sacrifice some of his rights and maybe help me look after my children. But of course I cannot do this alone. In fact, when I go on mission, sometimes 2 weeks, some of my friends look after my children, and some of the doctors help to run my practice. But what actually, that's why MSc, one of the core values is actually passion. If you are passionate in doing things, you can actually overcome many things, because sometimes you have bigger objectives to actually achieve. So you see all the hindrances as small, because a bigger objective is going to be achieved. Time-wise, They always say women are superwoman. We have to do everything. Of course, we try to do our best, but of course, without cooperation, macam how I run my family, as I always mention, I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't do that, because definitely as a medical officer training to be an obstetrician and gynecologist, I was very busy. In Malaysia, maybe you have to be alternate day on call. So if I were to do all those things, then I wouldn't have time spending quality time with my children and the family. So prioritize stuff. You prioritize what things to do first. So macam cleaning, you can at least sublet to somebody to do it for us. But the main thing is because both of us have got the same mission, vision in life. So whatever difficulties and sacrifice that you have to make, and not much of a query or burden. Sama-sama, together we bear that difficulties, we share the difficulties, and do the responsibility together. So I think a lot of support from the family and the people around, inshallah.
Elvira.
Sorry, Assalamualaikum, Dr. Fazia. Actually, I have one question, and I hope this question won't be so controversial. We heard about the Palestinian sufferings and how they're treated by the Israelis, but apart from that, the Israelis have their own stories too. So if we find an Israelian being hurted, what should we do, and what's your opinion about their stories? They said that they're being hurted too, and they're no different from the Palestinian, they're being attacked and so on. So what's your opinion on that? Thank you.
Okay. It is of no match. Okay, because I think the Palestinian punya rockets is just like apa you know, mercun apa? Firecrackers. Like that only. So it's just so far nobody has been killed by that, because they don't have the technology and so on and so forth, and it's only being fired random. But these are all targeted. It's no match of the suffering. But you also have to remember the story. The land is taken secara haram, illegally from them. And if you read, even in southern Sudan, they make a referendum whether you like or not to be away from Sudan. The people was given the say. So why is it not in this situation? The people was given a referendum to express their opinion. They like or not to be like that? No, it was just forced on them. And now out of the 100%, tinggal 8% of your land, and it's patches because many more settlements are being encroached. We don't deny, of course, there are things happening to Israeli as well, but it is as a result of things that has happened to them over the years. This is over 60 years. Many Holocausts actually happened to the Palestinians, but we don't know about those stories. You go back, you read about Dar Yassin, you read about many things really that happened. In Jenin, in 2002, they were kepungan apa? They were besieged the whole town of Jenin, and the massacre that happened at that time. Because we don't know the stories. So many things. Shatila, Sabila and Shatila. So many things. So it is disproportionate lah, I would say. Macam you orang besar pergi ketuk budak kecil. Disproportionate. Of course you are also hurt when the boy kick you, but your hurt too is very little. And then you must remember the story, the history, why it happened. So have to have a bird's eye view of things. Then only we become just. We cannot compare one to one. Yeah?
Thank you. This is the last question.